Hi, welcome to Mom Talk. Today we're going to be discussing getting our kids on a schedule. So I struggle personally with getting my girls on a schedule, and I would love to know tips on how to get them on a sleep schedule. And I want to homeschool them, and just I feel very overwhelmed as far as staying on a certain time frame. So what do y'all do?
For me, the most important thing is sticking to it, because no matter what you got to do throughout your day, no matter what, if you want to go shopping, you want to do this, you want to do that, you have to stick to your schedule, because it's what keeps your kids going. They're used to it. If I keep them away from their schedule, the whole day is off. So in the morning we get up, have their yogurt, their breakfast, their oatmeal and stuff, and after that, that's the only time I let my 2-year-old watch TV. So he'll get his TV time in the morning, because that's the best time for me, because I don't feel like really doing much in the morning.
Yeah.
So then nap time is from 11 to 12:30, and they're kind of already used to it already. They both, my son will jump at the bed, lay down, we sing songs, and then we get cuddled up, and then we go to bed. They're already used to it. At first it was kind of hard. We'd sit there for a while to get them used to it. But once you're used to it, they're comfortable with it. They're used to it. They wake up feeling more energized. They wake up ready for lunch. That's how I keep my day going too. Because if we didn't, I feel like I'd be every day would get kind of the same every day at home, So at least I know from for an hour and a half, I get my little break. Whether I want to nap with them or I want to get ready to go somewhere after lunch, or you know what I mean? You have that time.
Most of mine are older, so I don't have a schedule being as important to me as when they were littler. So we don't get naps, really, for the most part. If I can force Oakley into one, I'm doing really good, but it's definitely not a daily thing, when he really, really needs a nap. I pretty much have to force them into it.
And we get cranky.
As they're older, schedules just, for the most part, they go right out the window.
Oh, really?
Haley wants to go with her friends. Espen wants to just do something specific, and there's not it's not the same thing every day.
Mm-hmm.
As far as scheduling, tomorrow we're gonna go see this, or Thursday we're gonna go here, whatever. But as far as an hourly type schedule, I don't have anything like that anymore. I did
at a certain time, or you go to bed at a certain time.
The last night they were probably bed at 1 o'clock. But it's the summer.
Yeah.
For some reason they like to stay awake, and then they sleep till 11 or 12 in the day.
Yeah.
But if we're not doing anything, then it doesn't really matter to me during the summer. But when they were infants, I wanted from in the hospital, they eat every 3 hours, 3, 6, 9, 12. And I wanted that with all of them. If it was going to be 3 o'clock, they'd say it was only 2 o'clock, and when I was crying, it's not time to eat yet. And it sounds harsh, but it doesn't take an infant very long to catch on to 3, 6, 9, 12, because their body just gets used to eating at that time. So about 2:55 or so, they're waking up crying, hungry. But I was also able to know that, okay, if I want to go somewhere, I'm going to need to plan it during this time, or I'm going to have to bring a bottle or whatever. But from the hospital on, I remember in the hospital, even with Espen, with Oakley, we had, the nurses were like, oh, it's almost 3 o'clock, it's almost 12 o'clock, and they'd have a bottle brought in ready, because that's when I started. Not eating until that time.
Yeah.
And I thoroughly enjoyed doing that with all of them, but past a certain age, yours might be different because you homeschool,
Right.
so y'all have a schedule.
Well, and I started more meticulously also when they were littler, like you're talking about the feeding times, but also helping to get them to sleep and to nap. I would create these, meticulous schedule. This hour to this hour, they were doing this, and then we're going to play from this hour to this hour. And my husband didn't like that at all. He likes more flexibility. He doesn't like it so rigid. And so we had to compromise on the schedule. He's like, okay, I can understand you want to do this, but how about if we plan, by the morning, you wake up at this time, we have to do chores first, and feed the animals, and then we eat breakfast as a family, So that has to happen before we do these other things versus, okay, from 6 to 7 you're doing this, and then from 7 to 8 you're doing this. And I was okay with that as long as everything was, getting done. And they just said, okay, now lunch will be here, and then with the kids. So you do have to plan some though, because I have my older kids that are 11, 9, 7, and then my 5, 3, and 10-month-old need more sleep time. So they're the ones that nap. And unfortunately, when the big kids were home during summertime, the little ones don't want to nap because they want to be up and playing because the big kids are up and playing.
That makes them cranky.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we also had to incorporate, well, now if they're homeschooled now, how is that going to fit into the other kids' schedules? Well, we set it up to where everybody's together the whole morning. Again, you got your chores and your food, playtime, and everybody's playing together. And then you have lunch. Okay, after lunch, the little ones go take a nap, and the big ones start school. And so during the morning part when it's cooler, they're outside playing, they're doing the activities, we can go places, and they're in a hot part of the day, they're inside doing classwork while the little ones are sleeping. So that gives, my husband the time to focus on their schooling and that. And, I created a schedule for their schooling that again was, okay, they have this class and then this one and this one and this one. He's like, well, we let them pick what order they want to go in. They still get everything done. So
I saw your picture, highlighted and stuff.
I highlighted it down. I broke it down by the day, by the lesson. So
Yeah.
they will finish by this time and everything. He's like, that's great. How about there's a compromise you make, but again, without some type of structure,
Yeah.
everything, nothing will get done. And tomorrow, they're off for July 4th, so
Oh, good.
so they won't have school tomorrow because that's the flexibility of the homeschooling is you get to pick when you do stuff, but
It's like grocery shopping.
you make a list.
Yeah. If you're just gonna wing it and go in the store, you're gonna come out with who knows what looks
Yeah.
good while you're sitting.
Yeah.
Or if you were hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you make the list, you know exactly what you're getting, you know what you're gonna be able to cook and everything. I'm kind of doing it.
And then you try to plan your meals around that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a smart way to
That's a
do
smart way.
Well, see, I have really bad ADHD, so I'm like, I gotta do this, and then I forget, and then I don't know. I think I need like a stopwatch or some kind of a buzzer for every hours. I know.
I set an alarm on my phone.
Yeah.
You've got, and you
I
have to
had
make
like
that
4
time.
alarms going off the other day, and Anthony was like, "What are all these alarms?" I was like, "Well, 8:45 was to tell me that I should be waking up. By 9, if I went off again, it's because I didn't hear the first one, so I need to go off again. 9:30 means we need to be on the way out the door." And then the 10 o'clock one was, okay, you better be at the place you're supposed to be. So it was like, I just need alarms to remind me that it's, I don't know.
To me, the best thing about a schedule too that helped out for me was they started trusting that they don't have to cry for food, cry for juice. They start trusting that I'm gonna give them the juice, I'm gonna give them their food, they're gonna get changed. They never, I can't.
They
say
know what to expect.
I can't say that for my little son because he wrote his own book,
Yeah.
He's kind of different, but it's still, I noticed that did reassure him, he kind of built that trust with mom's gonna take care of me,
Yeah.
and that's it.
I've read that in different books, that if you have them on a schedule, and even the doctors will tell me that if you put her on a schedule, she'll be a lot calmer, she'll know what to expect, she'll be not so, fussy and stuff.
Yeah, that's how I noticed it when I was nursing because I really didn't know anything about schedule or why I didn't want it or anything.
Yeah.
And I was nursing, I was constantly nursing all the time. I didn't stop.
Oh,
But
I get a break.
for the whole 3-4 months, it was just constant. Because I nursed on command, so I was when he was hungry, and then I realized, okay, doctor said try putting him on a schedule. I'm I put him on a schedule. It was hard to not feed him when he was crying, but at the end it was awesome because we knew what worked out. He trusted me. He didn't complain when he was hungry. He knew I was going to give him food eventually, and that has grown on to now, even now as a toddler, he trusts me. He's not one to complain. My other son, he's completely different, but I tried.
Desiree right now, she's 4. So, and I guess she's going through a growth spurt, but I'll make her something to eat, and she'll eat it all. And then she'll ask me for something right after that. And then an hour later, she's like, I'm hungry again. And then 30 minutes later, I'm hungry again. It's I don't know how to make a food schedule for this little girl.
Food is really something I've noticed is not easy to make a schedule for except the bottle fit.
Yeah.
But as like having them all these different ages now, like Oakley being 4, he wants to just munch whenever he's hungry. He doesn't want to sit down and eat a meal.
Yeah.
He wants to just graze.
That's
all
what they
day
call
long.
my son, because I tell my son doesn't want to sit down and eat a meal. He can eat all day. And they're like, oh well, your son's a grazer.
Yeah. Whenever, doesn't really want to sit down. But if you were to let all the kids do that, then
You're never
It'd be
gonna
chaos.
yeah, it's gonna be chaos. It's gonna be a problem. You're never gonna have any food in the house, and then you can also get into them eating unhealthy or unhealthy weights or something like that. But it's different when you have the little one and they don't sit down and eat a meal, so you can't tell them when they're hungry. Sorry, no food for you.
Yeah.
It just doesn't really work that way. So you have to learn to be different with their ages and when they're all different ages, and one's like, why is he getting crackers?
Yeah.
I'm like, because he's 4.
Yeah.
That's why, because he didn't eat.
You've been sitting there playing on your game, and he was outside. He's tired.
It's not that you don't deny them food when they're hungry or something, but if you chose to not eat your food because you didn't want to eat it, it's in the refrigerator. When you want it, that's where it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Go for it and have at it. Just at lunch today, one of them did not want to eat something that they really liked, but just didn't want that. They wanted something else, and I said, "This isn't, cafe.
Yeah.
We're gonna eat what we made. This is, I know you like it. If I knew you didn't like it, it would be different. But I know you like it, and whenever you get hungry, this is where it'll be." So I just really think it makes a huge difference in what their age is, and as they get older, you just kind of fall into it naturally. I think we don't really have set times that we eat. I try to eat dinner a little bit earlier, but I really don't have much of a schedule for anything during the summer. Now during the school year, completely different. It's completely different.
Is it hard to revert back, like if you are very relaxed with them in the summer?
You start earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
Really?
You just
Start a
start.
week or two earlier.
Yeah, you have to start getting back into gradually getting into routine earlier, and then it's completely different. Because if you're not, it is chaos, especially when they're older. You think it's hectic when they're little. When they're older and they're in school and they have homework and they need to sleep and they have testing and you don't want them to be grumpy, and that's when you really have to stick to
Oh, I see.
something a little bit, because it's a little bit more important than when they're going to get up and
Yeah.
play games. In the morning, it's a little bit different.
So, sorry, go ahead.
No, my oldest is 11, and she likes to get up at 5:30 in the morning. No reason for it, because none of us are up. That's her quiet time. She likes to get up. She does her shower. She brushes her hair. She puts her music on in the bathroom. And just does her lotions and I guess shaves and
Girly
girly stuff.
Yeah.
And then she gets up. She has her cereal. She plays on her tablet, and that's her time before everybody else is up to.
It's very
Do her
peaceful in the
thing.
house in
It's-
the morning.
Right.
I wake up earlier too, just to.
My son did that today. But he was just rolling like on the floor. I don't know
Just
why.
rolling on the
like rolling. And I was maybe it's like 5:30 in the morning, 5:40. I'm like, and you're just having fun rolling. Like I never seen him do that. And like he didn't even wake us up. Like he was just like doing something. It was so funny. But I guess like they learn. It's kind of what makes them them.
Have their own
You gotta let
internal
them
clocks.
be them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I only have one morning child. She doesn't mind when you tell her to get up. She's up. And the others, you're like, get up, get up. I'm gonna turn the light on. I'm gonna take your blanket. Over and over again. But first time she's up and happy, and I'm a morning person too though. So I don't get up at 5:30
Yeah.
to do anything. But
Yeah, I've been blessed with them because so far all I've got to do is turn on the light. Okay, they're up. They're getting dressed. They're
oh,
getting.
that's
My
nice.
two are grumpy grumpy-tons in the morning. They do not.
Mine are not grumpy until they haven't had a nap, and it's only they're little.
Okay.
Yeah, because if they get the full night's sleep and then they get to bed early and then they get up early, well then they're tired and they go to bed early.
When they're younger, this is my opinion. When they're younger, not school age. It's important as for the husband and wife, for the parents, the child has a bedtime. Because if the kids just stay awake till whenever, you don't ever get that time together
As a couple. Yeah.
If they're, whatever you pick, their bedtime's 8 o'clock, then you go out of your way to make sure at 8 o'clock those kids are in bed. Or 7:30, getting in bed and then quieting down or whatever, because you really need that time, that quiet time together to be, instead of everything being hectic and crazy, you really never get those moments with your spouse. I think it's really important when they're littler to have a definite set bedtime, be it summer.
Yeah, I need to work on that, because my husband and I always, and they're always, our daughters are always around. So,
And
and,
y'all need time to
Yeah,
without them.
That's how we do every night. Well, recently was since they found out I was pregnant, I go to bed with them at 8.
yeah.
Like it's never been like that. We put in bed like around 8:30, and they fall asleep by 9, and then we go and have our time together. And it's like quiet. Like I get to go and eat what I want in the kitchen. No one's taking it from me, or like
Yeah.
and it's like you just feel free, you know. Even
Yeah.
if it's just a little bit of time, but it's that little bit of time
Yeah.
helps out for the next day. Like you kind of go,
Recharge.
okay, well tonight I'm gonna have my
That
free time again.
recharge.
You know what I mean?
Right. And so that was my thing is, so busy doing everything during the day and giving everybody else all the time they needed. But when I finally sit down, I was like, did I sit down today? Because this feels really good.
Right.
I don't remember.